everybody. Welcome to this episode of Women Making Big Sales. We're going to be talking about sales messages. Well, first of all, how's your week? How's your summer so far? I can't believe that, the time I'm recording this episode, we're already towards the end of July. Time flies. And I'm planning so much stuff for you guys, especially starting from September. I'm also planning a new series for the podcast called Sales Tip Tuesday. I tried that a few months ago, tried to do that Sales Tip Tuesday, but I was having trouble batching it, and I love batching. A lot of you, if you know me, you know that I love to batch everything. So I think I've got enough content for Sales Tip Tuesday. So should be starting soon, maybe sometime in August, where I will be creating a series of podcasts called Sales Tip Tuesday, where I will be sharing with you maybe 2 or 3 minutes short tips every week, every Tuesday about sales and how to help you get the results faster and easier. So if you have not subscribed to this podcast, make sure you do and leave a review. Let me know how you like it, and I look forward to sharing more stuff with you to help you get more corporate clients. So today we're going to be talking about how do you write sales messages that would get replies from CEOs, VPs, directors. How do we do that? I mean, this is a tall order. I mean, these people, they are busy and they're constantly bombarded by different emails and things they have to do. Their calendar is usually pretty full. So when we send out either LinkedIn messages or emails, how do we actually get replies? So here's the thing. I've been writing sales messages before LinkedIn even existed. So, and I also, since LinkedIn started becoming popular as a sales tool, I also use LinkedIn to get in front of CEOs and getting replies, especially from very busy CEOs. So I'm going to share with you some of the tips I use and the key strategies that I will make sure to implement to get replies from my prospective clients. And I've also interviewed different entrepreneurs and experts in terms of how to sell to corporate clients. And this is often a question I love to ask them. What are the tips and strategies you use when you write out sales messages? So today we're going to be talking about that. I want to share with you some key strategies. So if you're writing sales messages, you got to continue listen, and make sure to take notes and use it for your next sales campaign. And always remember, I'll include sales tip or sales script to landing corporate clients. And these are my scripts that I use to communicate, to speak with corporate clients. So I'll make sure to leave that in the show notes so that you will be able to download the sales script to landing corporate clients. You can download that and see how I sell. It's actually pretty easy and simple. All right. So the first strategy when it comes to making sure that you get success, you get replies from your corporate clients when you send out sales message, is having a target list. Okay, I know this is not about the sales message, but having a targeted list is the foundation, is the first step to having a successful sales campaign. Think about it. Let's say you sell Christmas trees. Just an example, you sell Christmas trees. Promoting your product 3 weeks before Christmas versus 1 week after Christmas is going to make a huge difference in terms of your reply rate. Similarly, let's say if you sell, I don't know, I'm a mom. My kid loves Pokemon cards, right? So similarly, if you are selling Pokemon cards, and these are like simple cards about Pokemon, my younger son, he's crazy about Pokemons these days. And so I'm just thinking, if you're selling Pokemon cards and you decided to write email promotions to a single adult who has, who probably doesn't even know what Pokemon is, versus writing or selling, promoting Pokemon cards and writing messages to a kid who is passionate about Pokemons, or maybe to a parent like me who's passionate about Pokemon, you are going to get a different sales result or response rate. And that is why we're saying that having a targeted list and even knowing about the perfect timing is important. When I ask a lot of executives, directors, and ask them, what would make you reply to a cold message? 9 out of 10, they tell me that it's about the perfect timing. It's about the fact that when the person write that email, they happen to have a need for a particular service. So that perfect timing is usually the first reason why people would reply to your message, which makes sense. Sales is about solving a challenge for your prospective client. So if your prospective client has no challenge or is not facing any challenge that you can solve, they naturally would not want to respond to your message. So when you're thinking about writing sales messages to your prospective clients, make sure to have a target list. And when I talk about targeted list, I want to encourage you and challenge you to make sure that the list is as targeted as possible. We are talking about making sure that you don't just say, hey, I want to target tech companies. That is not called targeted list. Let's try to segment that, for example, to the size of the tech companies, maybe the specific industries. I mean, even tech companies, they have different industries, and also location, geography, locations. These different segmentations, segments make the list different, and make sure that you have those target lists. Also think about who you're going after and who you're writing to. Even tech companies, there are different peoples within or different position names within the company, the account. For example, if you're writing to a CEO, it's going to be different compared to writing to directors or VPs. So always keep in mind in terms of the people, the person you're writing to. But start with a targeted list so that you can customize your message based on the target. So that is the first thing to your successful sales campaign, or when you're writing a successful sales message, is making sure that you have a good list. If you can find those people that have the challenges you can solve, they will naturally respond to your messages. It is going, your sales campaign, your sales results is going to be a lot more successful. And the second thing, now you're starting to write messages. And first thing to really make sure to have that a great result when it comes to sales message is make it personal. Today's world, when we sell to corporate clients, we don't want to write generic message. We want to be as personal as possible, especially when you are writing to big companies. It is very easy to do a quick research on the company, on their website, go to their LinkedIn page, and find relevant information that you can mention on your LinkedIn message or emails. When you talk about something relevant and personal to the person will feel like this is not going to be a generic message, because lots of our decision makers, the CEOs and VPs, they are bombarded with different messages. So if you're able to talk about something that showcase the fact that you've done the research in advance, the fact that you truly care about the industry, the company, and the person, you are going to stand out. So when you do the research, always think about 3 levels of research that you need to be doing. The industry. What is the industry going through right now? The challenges or even the opportunities they're facing. And the second thing is think about the company. What is that particular company? What are the news of the particular company you're writing to, and the person? Anything that you can find about this person. Maybe the person just won a specific award, then you can easily mention that award, or even mention about a podcast interview they did. Whatever you can is do the research so that you can mention something on the email, on your message. And that is going to help you stand out from all the other generic messages that these people might be getting. And make it personal is probably one of my key reasons, or one of the key reasons why I sometimes get response from CEOs. I will always talk about something, the lingos that the industry, the particular CEO will understand. So if you not only you talk about use personal messages, you can also write lingos that only industry insiders would understand. So it depends on who you're going after. If you talk about something CTT, maybe CTT means something within that specific industry and only the industry insider would understand. And that definitely help you stand out from all the competitors that are writing generic message. So strategy number 2, make sure you write something, make your messages personal. Number 3 is having a clear and succinct message. Keep it short. It's so important to keep it short when it comes to writing messages to corporate clients, because I talked about this at the beginning of our podcast, that keeping it short is so important when it comes to writing sales messages, because our decision makers, our CEOs, our VPs are very busy. So by writing very, very short and success message, you are going to make sure that they get the message. And a lot of times people struggle with the fact of writing short messages. And they would tell me that, hey, there's so much I want to say, and how do I keep it short? Here's the thing. You're writing to CEOs, VPs, and directors. Don't tell them something that they already know. So one example would be, maybe you're trying to solve a challenge they face. Don't elaborate too much on the challenge they're facing, because they know they're facing specific challenge. Focus on the solutions. So that's something that I often see when people start talking about, oh, here's the challenges that you might be facing, and you start describing the challenge. Most likely your decision makers, they know what challenge they're facing. So focus on the solutions. So focus on the benefits and the call to action to help them solve the challenge they're facing. By keeping your message clear and succinct, that's how you stand out. That's how you start to sound sound confident, and that's how you sound like you're the industry insider. The more succinct, the better. So keep it short. And if you have trouble keeping it short, one thing I would recommend is try to break down the message to a sequence of message. Maybe for the first message you write to your prospective client, it's about quickly introducing your company, but you don't have to talk about the challenge. And then the next message, that when you're trying to build that relationship, you can talk about the challenge and the solution that you're providing them. So rather than trying to fit everything on one specific message, break it down to a sequence or a series of message. Keep in mind, your decision they're extremely busy. So make sure to keep it short, keep it succinct, and straight to the point. So that's number 3. All right. So number 4 strategy I want to encourage you to do is be creative and be casual. And this is a personal preference. I personally, when I reach out to business clients, corporate clients, I like to have fun with it. I like to keep the conversation, the language I use, extremely personal. I sometimes might even joke a little bit and to tell them, hey, I'm here. I want to help you. And I'm going to follow up. I'm going to follow up because I really want to help you. But I want to keep that conversation super casual. By keeping it casual, remember we talked about having succinct message would help you will make you sound more confident. I believe that by keeping your language casual, it makes you feel look more confident, because it shows that you are not intimidated by them. It shows that you are not intimidated by this whole sales process. It brings the human touch to this whole conversation. So I like to be more creative in terms of the message I write, and casual. And also maybe the topic, the title of the email, the subject of the email. Try different ones, different subject titles, and also the call to action you have. Oftentimes, see people write the call to action as, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, or if this could be of interest to you, please let me know. Let's try something more creative. Maybe you can create something, a PDF file to help them solve problems, create a different ways to connect with them. Every time you write a sales message, always look at ways to solve people's problems. So it's kind of like a business creative, to always find ways to help your business, help your prospective clients overcome challenges and capture opportunities. So the strategy number 4 is be ready to be creative and casual. And this, I remember a few times when I asked corporate clients and what kind of messages would make them want to reply to, and they often said using creative tactics sometimes would make them want to reply to messages, because people know how hard it is to write sales messages, and they respect the fact that somebody take time to be creative and to showcase some creativity they have on their sales message. So don't be afraid and give it a try. Strategy number 5 is, just remember, sales message is about building relationship. It's about playing that long game. So don't forget to follow up if you do not get replies from your prospective clients. Remember strategy number 1, we talked about having a targeted list, and sales is about that perfect timing. So if you reach out to somebody today and you do not get immediate reply, don't make sure to follow up with them 3 months or 6 months from now on, because things always change. Maybe they don't have a need to work with you right now, but 3 months later, 6 months later, maybe somebody decides to quit the company, or industry changed, company changed, and they all of a sudden have a need for your service. So it is about building relationships. Sales messages, especially if you're reaching out to people without previous relationship, it is about transforming those cold relationships to warm and eventually to working with you. But you got to go through that process. So when you reach out to people and to connect with people, it's about building relationship, play that long game, building relationships, and get to know them, get to know the company and the industry, and let them know that you are there ready to serve and ready to support them. So when there's need for your service, they're going to reach out and talk to you. So these are the 5 strategies. And let me just recap, because I want to make sure that you really get that overview of some key strategies to getting replies from your prospective clients. Okay. And I just want to reiterate the fact that these are the key strategies that do not just work for me. These are the consistent strategies I hear from experts, from fellow entrepreneurs, that have worked for them. So I really encourage you to take these strategies and apply to your own sales messages. Number 1, making sure that you have a good target list. Be ready to try different industries, different decision makers, but understanding that a lot of times we reach out to our prospective clients, it's about just finding those people who's got needs for your service, right? So always be ready to make sure that you have a well-targeted list. That is really, truly the number 1, the first step to having a successful sales campaign. Number 2, mention something personal about the company, the industry, about this person you're writing to. Make your messages personalized, so that you're not, you don't come off as somebody sending out generic messages. So do a quick research about the industry you're targeting, the company, and themselves, so that you can mention something about them on the message. So number 3, make sure that your sales messages are clear and concise and succinct. Keep it short, because your prospective clients, they're really busy. So let's just keep the message short. Number four, make sure to be creative. I think it's such an important thing when it comes to sales. There's a lot of creative process involved when it comes to sales. So be ready to be creative and make sure your message is casual. Always put in a lot of personal touch to on your message. And number five, sales message is about building relationships. So don't forget to follow up, check in with your prospective clients if they do not reply to you right away, and always let them know that you're there, ready to serve whenever they have a need for your service. That's it. These are the five key strategies that I see would help you get successful sales messages from your prospective clients. I hope that you find this helpful, and then don't forget to listen to the next podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to my podcast or leave a review if you find the content information useful for your business. And I look forward to talking to you next time. And any questions, also make sure, I think I'm going live right now on Facebook group. So if you've got any questions, make sure to say hi and let me know. And I will be very happy to answer any questions you have when it comes to writing your sales messages. All right. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.